But let me let Adel also have his take on that. Adel, the NDC thinks that this is something that we have to negotiate and negotiate well. If not, if they come to power, they're going to abrogate it if the need be.
Okay. Allow me to start from here. You see, the whole idea the NPP touted about one district, one factory was that they wanted to solve two problems. One of the problems is to solve the issue of unemployment. And the other problem is to solve the issue of our currency depreciation. Why our currency depreciation? Because when you have to gather all the dollars that you have in the system to go and import crude, to go and import sugar, to go and import oil, bring in some rice, what you end up doing is that the scarcity of dollars in the system automatically makes your city depreciate. Because when it is scarce, it is expensive to buy it. When it is in abundance, it is easier and cheaper to get it. So their solution was that we're going to do what is called one district, one factory. Brilliant ideas, beautiful idea. Then we quizzed them. We said, okay, so one district, one factory, how is that going to be like? Are you going to identify? They said, oh, wait, you know, that time they came up with a map, this circular map, 360, that indicated what is being, what can be produced in what district and blah, blah, blah. We told them, listen, it is not, what you're saying, it is not visible. But of course, they insisted. One would wonder that for a government who had this, you know, intention and had this initiative in place, when you assume power, the first thing you ought to do is to first look at the government businesses, the government companies that have actually already been existing, and then whatever monies you have decided to pump into one district, one factory, you start from there. Then you dropped it, and I'll tell you why they dropped it. Then they dropped it, and when they dropped it, they went looking for other companies. Oh, B5, an existing company that is to produce nails. Then they pass there, and then they just go there and look at them, and then, you know, they give them something small, and then you see one district, one factory. Last week, I was coming from, in Sawam, and then I saw one factory on the left side. I think they produce water or something. You see it boldly written there, one district, one factory. And then they abandoned this. Let me tell you why they abandoned it. They abandoned it because their intention was to devalue it and sell it. KMJ, he started by saying that Komenda Sugar Factory was valued at 34 million, you know, dollars. And then when he came to power and the evaluation was done, it came down to $60 million and blah, blah, blah. Did you know that the same company that did the valuation in 2016 was the same company that did the valuation in 2017? Do you know that it was ridiculous in every sense for Price Cooper House to do a valuation of Komenda Sugar Factory in 2016, which is around 17th October 2016, and then by 15th of September 2017, which is barely less than a year, okay, come and tell you that all the machines that are in there have depreciated by close to about almost 60% or 70%. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know why? Because there is an average depreciation rate which is accepted worldwide between 5 to 10%. So the question you're asking is that, how is it that the same Price Waterhouse, who did a valuation of the same project just a year after that, now comes back to tell you, the same company now comes back to tell you that, oh, the valuation that we did, perhaps last year, was flawed. It doesn't make any sense. But the intention was to sell it. Then we made noise at the time that if it would devalue within a year, it does, look, KMJ, this laptop, this laptop, okay? This laptop, if we were to value it right now, as it is today, yours, yes, if we were to value it right now, 1 year from now, if this thing is 4,000 Ghana cedis, 1 year from now, you can't tell me it's 500 Ghana cedis. It doesn't make any sense. like, so for you to say Price Water, okay, did evaluation pegged it at $34 million. And then all of a sudden, after 1 year, comes back and say that, oh, we went to do valuation again, but now it is 16. It tells you that something is wrong because standard-wise, it doesn't even make any sense. Again, when we made the noise at the time, then they now came back and came to sit down. And then they left it to continue to rot. Can you imagine that today, some few months to elections, now we're saying, oh, we're going to outsell, we're giving it out, we're giving it to a company out. When we started, we told them when they came to power, we said, look, do something about this. Do you know why? Because it's going to create employment. It is also going to do what is called import substitution. And when import substitution happens, you get to reduce your funds. KMJ, you see, wisdom is not common. You need to sit down and really think about things to solve issues. The NDC under us went on the import substitution drive. Why? Because we had a major problem with Dumso. Taxes were not coming. So we needed to solve a problem immediately. This is how we were able to solve and manage the currency at 4.2. Despite the fact that for 3 years, people were not having lights, companies were struggling, taxes were not coming, oil prices had dropped in the international market, crude prices had gone down, gold prices had gone down. You have all these companies like the Fammo Ghana who were not able to produce the quantities they used to produce. Why? Because they don't have electricity. And even the raw materials they have to bring, they have to reduce it because if they bring in too much to produce, it will be a problem. So even taxes you're getting from the port had reduced. We had to do this to be able to still manage your dollar at 4.2. Then today, when they come and they want to talk, they go like, oh, but the NPP, the amount of money they borrowed and the amount of money the NDC borrowed, it is the same money. Here's what the difference is. Under John Dramani Mahama, he was able to manage the dollar so much such that if you borrowed $1,000, all you needed to do is raise $4,200 to pay your debt. Under you, when you borrow $1,000, now you have to go and look for 16,000 Ghana cedis to pay the same $1,000. That's the problem. That's the difference.
But did the NDC manage the Komenda factory better?
Let me tell you something. Here's what happened. PMJ, you want to ref house. You want to ref house. You say, oh, I've decided that I want to bring in day-old chicks. Day-old chicks. So you decide that you're going to buy blocks. You bought the blocks, you bought everything, you put them down. You've started putting up the structure. In fact, you haven't got anywhere, you're just digging the foundation. KMJ, do you go and bring the day-old chick and come and put them down outside while you're building the structure so that when you finish, you now put them in the structure? Is that what you do? No, I want to engage you. No. What do? You build it first, right?
Yeah.
Their argument at the time was that, why haven't we planted sugarcane? Sugarcane takes 3 months. Building of companies, building Komenda Sugar Factory needed years. Why will I go and plant sugarcane, which takes 3 months, and it will be ready and lying down, while the factory is being built, which will take over a year? So my sugarcane is ready and it's lying down, and I'm sitting there waiting for the factory to be ready. Why won't you build the factory? See to it that the factory is stabilized. We had secured lands at the time. In fact, before the factory got to the end of it, then we said, okay, you guys can now start preparing some sugarcane. We had some sugarcane that were actually produced. We made a test run. Where is all this argument coming from? Okay, KMJ, let's say that the NDC managed it poorly. Let's say the NDC didn't know what to do. You said you had all the wisdom. You're coming to do one district, one factory. You're coming to do blah, blah, blah. You have everything. The people of Ghana said, hey, Mahama, you don't know what you're doing. Sit aside. Let's give it to NPP. You've come to government. You've come to sit down on that same Komenda Sugar Factory for getting to almost 7 years. You're almost about going home. Now you want to give it out, you want to outsource it. The people in the communities are telling you, what are you doing? This was not the original plan from the NDC. The NDC gave an opportunity for our people to plant sugar cane. You're not doing that. It is only germane that if you're sitting here, at the time, unemployment was 8.4. Today, unemployment is 14, going to 15. You're still sitting here, and you're cutting corners. You're still sitting here, and you're looking for ways to make money. You know, every opportunity you have to make money. Look at what is happening with Sagleme, housing project. And they said they are looking for somebody else to come and take it over. You have pumped in $50 million in National Cathedral. $50 million, KMJ. You Ponzified God. You are the people who were able to Ponzify. They Ponzified God himself. Do you know what it takes for someone to be able to do God Ponzi? Do you know what it takes? Like, you have to have a certain level
So my argument... They are all to blame for the Komenda Factory.
How is that? We lost power.
Right now.
We lost power. How is that? We lost power. Government is continuing. We lost power.
So you want to
blame
the NPP for not
I'm saying KMJ, the first thing they did was to do an audit. To come and say this is what the money was. We say that there's a problem with that because it doesn't meet international standards. It doesn't even make sense. In fact, it is an indictment on Price Cooper. It's an indictment on them. Assuming it was Price Cooper who came to do 34 million, and a different company came to say that, oh no, it is not 34 million. However, it's actually 12 million or 16 million. Then we'll say that with the initial company, perhaps inflated the prices, something happened. But the same company goes to do it and comes back to tell you that, no, this is the new price. It doesn't even make any sense. No. So we even indicated at the time that this document may not be authentic. That was what we said at the time. You understand what I'm saying? But because Pricewater did not speak to it, we kept our peace. You understand what I'm saying? So my argument is that, again, KMJ, if somebody has caused any financial loss to the state, you've been in government for 7 years. You say Komenda Sugar Factory, somebody did this, and then we have done that, and we have done this, blah, blah, but no problem. You have left it to lie down for 7 years. Now you're giving it up. What wisdom did you bring to the table? What was your solution when you were coming to power? How do you say I'm doing one district, one factory, and then when you're given the opportunity, you see a factory and then you abandon it? Yeah.